Weakest hero gains cheat level system and becomes strongest hunter. Hey guys, it's Cody. Welcome back to Anime Recap Marathon. Today we have the highly anticipated solo leveling. Let's get it started. The story begins with a flashback on an island where people are in a life or death battle against these giant ants. And they really got wrecked. They really stood like no chance. It was kind of pathetic. The hunters seem to have no chance against these ants until the S-rank hunters show up. The S-rank hunters save the weaker hunters, while one of the S-rank hunters heals the wounded. Two more S-ranks dispatch the ants with ease, one using lightning and the other ripping the ants apart with his bare hands. It was pretty sick. We cut to another S-rank hunter who is called Guildmaster Choi by some fodder hunters. Choi burns the ants with some type of fire magic while the fodder hunters charge them. We learned 10 years ago gates started appearing all over the world that would link to an alternate dimension. These dimensions containing creatures called magic beasts. Only certain people who awaken as hunters can fight the magic beasts, though. The hunters have magical powers and their rank is based on the amount of magic power in their body. Ranks are from E being the lowest to S the highest. S rank comes with fame, fortune, and power. Once awakened, no amount of training can increase your rank or strength. We then cut back to the present where some hunters are meeting up for a raid. We meet our hero Sung Jin Woo. At first, it seems like he's popular because everyone's greeting him, but then we find out he's so fucking weak that his nickname is the weakest hunter of all mankind. He is an E-rank hunter and absolutely hopeless. People are only excited to see him because they assume if he's called for a dungeon, that means it's probably easy. Sung runs into Ju Hee, who is also on the raid team. She's concerned about Sung because he's injured. He tells her it happened in an E-rank dungeon. Everyone was a higher rank than him, so they decided not to bring a healer, which ended up with him being the only one hurting in the hospital. Ju Hee says they were being selfish by not bringing a healer, but Sung says it's also his fault for being so weak. We meet the leader of the raid team, Song Chi-Yul, and the rest of the fodders. Song is the strongest person there is, so the fodders are fine with him leading. They head into the dungeon, and Sung is told to stay behind and try not to get hurt. Sung laments that all he has is a cheap knife with barely any magic power to it, but it's all he can afford. We cut to a different scene with a character named Chairman Go. We learn how the government pushes the hunters to raid dungeons so they can collect materials. Back in the dungeon, Sung has collected one fucking E-rank essence stone, and then almost dies to a goblin after his knife breaks. Ju Hee is able to heal him, and the rest of the raid team defeat the other magic beasts and the dungeon boss. Ju Hee is upset with Sung for getting injured and tells him he needs to worry more about himself. Even though the dungeon boss was defeated, the dungeon hasn't shown any signs of disappearing. One of the fodders find a path that leads deeper into the dungeon. They come to the conclusion that it must be a double dungeon. It's something that's not very common, and they have to defeat another dungeon boss in order to complete it. Song, the leader of the raid, says they're supposed to report this to the Hunters Association, but they are some greedy fodder who want the rest of the loot first so they can put it to a vote. The vote is split even, as Sung is a tiebreaker, and obviously the guy who almost died to a fucking goblin votes yes, so they proceed. To be fair, he needs the money to pay for his sister's college and his fucking mom's medical treatments, but also his knife just broke. Back at the Hunters Association, we see some newly awakened hunters being evaluated for their rank. We learn the hunters are scouted by guilds, and we see Guildmaster Choi again. He then tells one of his scouts age and gender does not matter as long as they can get useful people, although none of them will be able to compare to Cha-Hei. We are introduced to Che and her big bubble butt as she stops a robbery but runs away because all the attention she attracts being an S-rank hunter. Back in the dungeon, Sung, Ju Hee, and the other people we don't care about continue further into the dungeon. Sung apologizes for voting to go deeper, and Ju Hee says, "I wish you would vote to go deeper in me." But she does criticize him because all he does is get hurt, and if he really is sorry, he should take her out on a date. Sung is thankful for having her around because she is a B-rank healer. I wonder if they will ever get to that date. B-rank healer, but he got some A-rank fuck-ups, I'll tell you that much. They then come across a giant door and decide to push forward. We then cut back to some of the new hunters while they watch an initiation video from Chairman Go. He says if you want to survive in the dungeons, you should always be afraid. The raid team enters the room in the dungeon and it's filled with the giant old-looking statues. One of them is way bigger than the rest and seems like a lord or king. They find a magic circle and a tablet with instructions written on it. Ju-hee says the really big statue's eyes moved, but Sung says she imagined it. Once they read the tablet, the doors close. One of the fathers who voted not to go tries to open the doors and is immediately sliced in half by one of the statues. Panic ensues. Sung now realizes he is the weakest person there and that guy was killed in an instant. He is absolutely fucked. He looks back at the giant statue and its eyes move directly towards him. His observation hockey from being in life or death situations tells him what the giant statue is about to do, which is shoot lasers from its fucking eyes. Not sure how that works. He yells for everyone to duck, but some of the fodder still get caught. None of them expected this, and now death is certain.